Thank you for coming. We're expecting a few other guests and high-tech ambassadors and diplomatic ambassadors, but we will start with the traditional opening words of the best partner anyone can have to co-found such an enterprise, Rami Kalish from Pitango.
Hi, thank you and welcome, dear guests, ambassadors, and most really friends from the industry. We are all part of the high-tech industry, and the high-tech industry had a very good 2013, and I think that also 2014 will be a very good year, and actually I'm quite optimistic about the coming years. I think the high-tech industry in Israel made a tremendous progress. We always knew that we are a hub of innovation since it started maybe 25 years ago. And we see more and more companies that are doing significant exits, both by M&A transactions and IPOs. It's becoming larger and larger numbers. But really what more encourages me is the fact that we are building larger companies, stronger companies with a much bigger vision. And on the other hand, at the other end, we see more and more startups, and the deal flow that we see at Pitango. I'm sure that my colleagues from other venture capital funds, as well as angels and other members of the investment community, see tremendous deal flow of quality teams and disruptive vision. I think that last year we even broke one of the kind of glass ceilings or taboo statements about the Israeli industry, that we don't know how to do consumer products with the acquisition of Waze. But in my opinion, the years to come will show that we are very diversified, both in consumer products, internet, but also in the core technology products, communication, mobile. Actually, if I'm thinking on all the hot trends of big data, cybersecurity, mobile, etc., I think that Israel has a significant role to play. The other part of this gathering is also to talk about the impact of the high-tech industry on Israel, which is very positive in different aspects. I know some of the speakers after me will talk about it. And I think we should all remember that we are, in a way, ambassadors of Israel as well. Approaching Barcelona, this is actually the sixth Tzav Shmone event to Barcelona. Approaching Barcelona, I'm always excited because when I'm coming to Barcelona, I see dozens of Israeli companies presenting, which is much more than our fair share in the worldwide industry. And I think it's a great milestone for Israel. And I hope we will continue this year and the next years to come to lead Israel to achieve better and better achievements and recognition as we did in the last year. So welcome. Let's have a productive sessions today. And thank you very much for coming.
Okay. The main goal of what we've been doing here in the past 6 years with you was how to advocate, how to position Israeli high-tech ecosystem on one hand, and how to brand Israel, where we're trying to give you a toolkit of to do it, but basically in these past 6 years when I studied and saw what you were doing, the best toolkit is here in the room. It's you, each and every one of you. So if I could put you all on one presentation, an ongoing presentation, and I spoke with Sharon Erde about it, that's the best thing we might have done. Thing is, we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to do it in a different way. I'm going to start with a very short presentation, trying to portray what you all built here together, and what are the challenges and what we can all create together for the future. The reason is that, we're doing it is because research shows that if a country has a strong brand, the brands in the industry are gaining more financial strength, meaning that the brands from a strong country brand can achieve higher valuations, higher exits, and more collaborations. So it is also within our interest, and not only from our hearts, to help create a strong country brand and a strong ecosystem brand. And that wasn't what I meant. The country itself gains from what we are doing is that if there are strong brands coming from a country, the country has a stronger political strength in terms of collaborations, negotiations, and all the rest. So what you are doing here is important for you, for the ecosystem, and for the country. And of course, we're all facing challenges. On the next session, you'll hear foreign ambassadors talking about how they are dealing with the differentiation challenge of innovation ecosystems. And of course, the first session will address how do we create young people being attracted and going to a technological education. Maybe some new innovative education models that are being designed here in Israel. Now, what we've built in Israel is an ecosystem that has a legacy, that has a future, and that has three major interfaces or layers. One is the structures, all the infrastructure of government, chief scientists, academies, VCs, or accelerators, and of course multinational R&D centers. But this structure can be copied and implemented anywhere else. You create incentives, you create chief scientist programs, and you create an ecosystem. What Israel also built here, what you built here, is verticals of industries. So Israel was leading in innovation in the chips industry, but nowadays we see new fields, new industries that are changing the game, and David Bevilacqua is going to talk about these new fields. You need to take the lead in these upcoming fields. And then there is another interface that you built together. That is the Israeli high-tech culture, the culture of education, the culture of teamwork coming from the army. But what we would like to emphasize today is the story that maybe sometimes we forget to talk about. And that is the international perspective or approach that Israeli have. And the other is unity. And in unity, I mean the strength of the Israeli ecosystem, of every ecosystem, stands on the fact that you have a group of companies, a group of R&D centers, not separate sporadic stars, but an interwoven or inseparable layers that all together create something that brings functional value to the global innovation arena, which is multidisciplinary disruptive innovation that is also resilience. So if we saw companies making great exits this year, it strengthened the entire ecosystem. If we saw R&D centers getting more and more engaged in Israel, that strengthens the ecosystem and the companies that are within it. So if until now, what could differentiate this ecosystem was the structure of multinationals, of academia, of chief scientists. Nowadays, this is not enough. And the theme that we are trying to present here is that Israel, besides adding a functional value of disruptive innovation, Israel ecosystem can inspire the world with its spirit, with its unity, with its ability to, there is a word in Yiddish called lefargen. Okay? It means to talk good about others, even if you don't have a direct benefit out of it. Because when you brand this ecosystem, when you brand other companies, you're basically branding yourself. And with that note, I would like to invite our host for the second time, Boaz Maoz, who is the general manager of Cisco and one of our greatest high-tech ambassadors.